ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तश्रद्धेयं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्यस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 21, verse number 8. This is Venu Gita. So in the previous verse we read how gopis, they were describing Krishna's Kataksha. And they said that this is the highest perfection of the eyes, to see Krishna's face, which is having flute on it, surrounded by his friends along with Balaram. So he continues. Chuta prabala barhastabakotpalabja malanuprikta paridhana vichitra vesho madhe virejaturalam pashupala goshthyam range yatha natvaro kacha gayamano. So in the commentary we read that they were saying that we should go there dropping all modesty, all family restrictions, and see this face of Krishna. So here they are describing that, how he appears. And as in the previous verse, they are describing both of them, Vaktram Brajesha Shatiyor and Venujishtam, although Sri Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur commented in a way that it is only about Krishna. So here also it's in dual case, Vichitra Vesha. The both are having very wonderful dress with the mango leaves and peacock feather, then bunch of flowers, blue lotus, etc. stuck into their dress, something on their head, something in their hand, something on their waist, all. So mala and nice garland, anuprikta paridhana vichitra vesha. So they have this very multicolored appearance. They have their paridhan, their attire, and in that they have fixed various types of leaves, flowers, garland, peacock feather. And they are in the company of, means attached. So Pashupala Goshthyam Virejaturalam. Then they are appearing very beautiful in the assembly of cowherd boys. And how are they? It says Range Yatha Natvaro Kocha Gayamano. Just like two dancers on the stage. There are people around and they are on the stage because they are described in the center, Madhya. And they are singing and dancing. So sometimes they are playing music, sometimes they are singing, and sometimes they are dancing. So this is how they are enjoying their life in the company of their friends. Etadrusham vidambanam swasya katham kurma tasmat tatra na yama iti chet maivam. So it says, some gopi says that how can we act in such a disgraceful manner that we can go there? It is not possible. Therefore we will not go. So then another gopi says, no, we should go there. Why is that? Baldev sahitya sati tatra asmad jigamishaya abhavat tattanna bhavishyati ato durto valli pallavrandhrenaiva tasya swarmanasya saundaryamritam ganamritam cha aswadya nrityadikam cha drishtva drutam ayasyama itya. So he says, because Balaram is there, so therefore we cannot go there. Our wish to go there cannot be fulfilled because we cannot meet him. So therefore tam na bhavishyati. So what we will do is, we will go, but we will stay at a distance and will remain hidden behind the trees and creepers, and through the in between the branches and leaves we will see him. Tasya swaramanasya, he who is our lover, saundaryamritam ganamritam cha aswadya. We will relish his beauty, the nectar of his beauty and the nectar of his singing. And also we will see his dancing. Nityadikam cha drishtva drutam ayasam. And then quickly we will return back so nobody will notice. So you see here, generally you don't think of, if you hear about God who creates this world, you don't think that he will be dancing, or he will be singing, or he will be playing like this. You think of some God like some serious person, right? Mature, gambhir. So here he is being described. That's why Brahma was confused that how can this be God, because he was thinking God, serious person. So Dhrutam ayasyamaiti yahu chutasya pravalo navapallavam. So the praval means the new leaves of mango, and barhamcha stabaka puspaguchhasya. And there is also peacock feather which they put. There is also cluster of flowers, chudayam. So this is all in their crown, in their pagadi, in their headdress. Utpale tadanta kosho karnayo. And the utpala, the bluish lotus flower, the inner part of it, they are putting on their ears. And abjam lila kamalam dakshina kare. And abja refers to white lotus flower. So this is they are holding in their hand, which is called lila kamal, just like playing with it. And malascha gale, and the garland is in their neck. So he has described where different of these fruits, flowers and leaves, etc. they have put. Tathacha anugunataya priktani gatra sanlagnani paridhanani. And then these things are stuck into their dress, which is touching their body. Gatra sanlagnani paridhanani priktani anupriktani. Anupriktani means sticking or touching according to their proper place. Natya uchita rakta pita asita vasansi cha. And then for dancing they have a very multicolored dress. So although their dress is yellow, Krishna wears yellow and Balaram bluish, but now they have red, yellow, white, different colors of cloths tied to their body in different places, something to their waist, something to their head, in their middle part. So Tair Vichitra Vesho Yayostav. So in this way they have Vichitra Vesha, very wonderful appearance. Natvarau iti Sakhishu, Gaikeshu, Vadakeshu, Nityantau. So they are called here as Natvara, the best of the dancers. So their friends, some of them are singers, others are musicians, and with them, in the midst of them, these two are dancing. So Sakhishu, Gaikeshu, Vadakeshu, Nityantam. And Kvacha Kadachitcha Gayamanu. And sometimes they themselves also sing. Tachilya Shanach. So Shanach Pratyek applied in the sense of characteristic. Yadva Gaye Gane Mana Sarvai Datta Adaro Yayostav. Or Gayamana. So Gayamana can be as a Shanach Pratyek, or it can mean Gaye Mana, that they are giving respect to others who are singing, or they are being respected by others. Sarvai Gaye Gane Mana Sarvai Datta. So all other than the friends who are present there, they are praising them for their singing. So Adro Yayosta. Yadva Gaye Gane Mano Garvo Yayosta. Or Gaye Mano means that they are very proud of their singing. They are singing and they are feeling very proud. So Sachasmat Tulya Strilokyam Gayako Nasti Kayuyam Gopa Varaka. So they are saying that Krishna is saying that there is no one like me in singing in the three worlds. You little cowherd boy, what you can match with me? Because they are having their fun, So they also pull each other's leg. It's not that all the time they are getting respected. Sometimes they also cowherd boys also make fun of them. So he also makes fun of them. He says, "Who are you? What is there? Your singing is useless. It's worthless. Nobody can compete with me in singing."
One question is there. What is the difference between Utpal and Leela Kamal?
Leela Kamal is Abja. Utpal is one type of lotus. Generally, blue lotus is called Utpal and white is called Abja. Both means lotus, but by color difference.
So he is holding Abja in his hand and
Utpal
Antakosha is on his Karnam.
So gopyah kimacharadayam kuslam sma venudamodaradhar sudhamapi gopikanam bhunkte swayam yadavishishtarasam hradinyo hrishyatvacho shrumumuchustarvo yatharya. So another gopi speaks. All these verses are spoken by different gopis. So one gopi says to the others, he says, "Hey gopis, O gopya, I am Venu, kim kushlam acharat sma. What good deeds this flute has done, that it has such fortune." So what is that? He says, "Gopikanam adhar sudham api bhunkte." So Damodar adhar sudham api gopikanam bhunkte. That's this flute is drinking the nectar from the lips of Damodar, which actually belongs to the gopis. So it is someone else's property and she is enjoying it. So how is this? So it's like somebody saves some sweet for you and someone else comes and grabs it, and right in front of your eyes. Not that he steals it, but you are watching and he eats and there is nothing you can say. So he says, what is this flute? What wonderful activities, what pious deeds this flute has done, that she is drinking. This Damodar belongs to us because we tied him with the ropes. So he is ours. Gopikanam. He is not belonging to the flute, but the flute is the one who is having full rights. So adhar sudham api gopikanam bhunkte swayam. And she is drinking this nectar completely. Yadavasishta rasam. Doesn't leave anything for us. So all the sweets are eaten by him. Does not leave anything. And then on top of that, hradinyo hrishyatvacho shrumamuchu starvo yathanya. The lakes, they are feeling great. They are feeling very happy that this flute belongs to these bamboos who drank our water. So we also have some relationship with this flute. Like if somebody becomes famous, and everybody wants to find a relationship with that person. Oh, he used to be my class friend. I used to play with him. He was my neighbor. Something like this. I met him once there. So now this flute is so important that it's always on the lips of Krishna, where gopis hanker to be, but they are not allowed. So the lakes are also feeling happy. So the lakes are as if they are having these flowers coming out of joy. So hradinyo rishyatvacho. So their tvacho ashru mumchu starvo. And the trees, they are saying that he is also one among them, he belongs to our family. Right? One person gets some medal, the whole village feels happy, they celebrate. Right? Now there was this Commonwealth Games. So somebody gets a medal here to whichever village he belongs to, and in fact the whole state, the country celebrates. So these trees are saying, well, this bamboo is one among them. So they are also happy. So Ashru Mumuchu, so they are also having tears in the form of honey dropping from their flowers. So he says, Tarva Yatha Arya. It's like noble people, they feel happy if somebody from their family becomes great or becomes great devotee, then everybody feels satisfied, happy. So like that the trees are also celebrating.
ऋष्यत त्वचा ये तरवों के साथ है या हृदयों के साथ है? ये रोमान, इसका अर्थ क्या है?
किसी के साथ लगा रहे हैं, लेक के साथ.
अगर लेक के साथ लगाएंगे तो अर्थ क्या निकलेगा इसका?
Their त्वचा is top water. So there, when you feel happy, what happens? Your hair stand on the end, right? So now the lake is feeling happy. So the top layer of the lake is the skin, and the lotus flowers are coming out. So those are the hair standing on the end. Yes, ऋष्यत त्वचा.
और अगर तरु के साथ लगाएंगे तो?
तरु के साथ लगाओगे तो उसमें फिर स्वेद, अश्रु मुमुचु.
अश्रु मुमुचु और ऋष्यत त्वचा. और अश्रु मुमुचु तो आपने बताया उनमें से रस टपक रहा है, और ऋष्यत त्वचा में मतलब क्या उत्प्रेक्षा होगी तरु के साथ?
वहाँ से गोंद निकलता है पेड़ से, you get that resin coming out. गोंद देखा?
हाँ.
पेड़ से निकलता देखा?
जी.
या बाजार में ही खरीदा?
जी जी, पेड़ से.
तो वही किंच अस्मान विडंबनाब्धौ निक्षिपन अयम वेणुरेव अनर्थकारी इत्याहु. So actually they are only upset with the flute. So this is what you call viparit alankar. They are praising the flute but saying that this flute is the one who is putting us to disgrace. And she is the anarthakari. She is the one who is working against us completely. So we have to do something about this flute. This flute has completely put us down into disgrace. Not only disgrace, but into the ocean of disgrace. Vidambana abdhau nikshipan. And in this way, she is working against us. Anarthakari. So, he gopyaha, or gopis, Venu. So, first of all, he is Venu, not Murli. So Venu means Murli. Murli is a female, Venu is a male. So he says this is the amazing thing, that she is not a female but a male. Venu Murli. Kim Smith Kuslam Punyam Acharat. What kind of pious deed this flute has done. Vansi Murali Adi Shabdanam Strilingatvepi Tatparayasya Venu Shabdasya Punstvam. Dar Shabd was gay. So there are other words like Vanshi, which also means flute, Murli, which also means flute. But these are feminine gender. Because in Sanskrit nouns also have gender. And Venu is masculine gender. So how can there be masculine gender for flute? So I said just like we have the word Dara in Sanskrit. So Dara means wife. Patni also means wife. Stri, woman. So Stri, Patni, right? Jaya, Bharya. So these are all feminine gender, because we are talking about wife. But there is one word called Dara. Dara also means wife, but the word Dara is masculine gender. So in Sanskrit it is not necessary that the gender of the word and the gender of the object match. Generally it is expected that if you have a word which has gender and it is denoting an object, that should also have the same gender. But sometimes there is a mismatch between the gender of the word and its referent, the object it refers to. So here we have the word Dara, which is in masculine gender, but it means a wife, which is feminine gender. Although these days it can also be other way around. There are many things which happen now. Gender is a very confused thing. But traditionally. So he says in the same way, we have to think of Venu, because if somebody is drinking the nectar from Krishna's lips, we would expect that person to be feminine, because Krishna is a male. So here, what is this? Is it some kind of LGBTQ plus or what is it? That Venu is a male, Krishna is a male, and they are kissing. So how is this to be understood? So they are saying, no, don't worry, it is just like the word Dara, it is only the word. Or the meaning is when they are saying that Kushlam ki macharat ayam. So they are saying what pious deed she has performed means nothing. It's a rhetoric question. So kim mangalam acharat apitu na kimapi. It's not done anything. And just like that, if she has done any good deed, why would she be born as a bamboo? Be born as at least as a human being, not some devata. Because this is considered as lower species of life. So sthavar jatitvenaiva lakshate iti bhava. So this is understood from the very fact that she is not even a movable living being. She is not even like an ant or a fly or a mosquito which at least move. He is just a tree. So that is the lowest. The lower than tree is stone. Nothing lower than that. So it is understood from the very fact that he is born as an immovable tree. So that means he never did any pious thing in the past life. But still, why is he drinking the nectar? That's the question.
ये जो दार शब्द है ये पुल्लिंग में प्रयोग होते हैं दारा
दारा ही है यार, वो समझे समास बनाते हैं
तो यहाँ पे जो दार शब्द वत लिखा है ये समास बन के दारा का दार बन गया।
दारा दारा नहीं है समास में, तो ड्रॉप हो गया। थोड़ा भी ठहरो जरा, समास आएगा। तदपि दामोदरस्य अधरसुधाम भुंक्ते इति कथम वयम सोढ़ुम प्रभवाम इति भाव। So he says that on top of that she is relishing the nectar from the lips of Damodar. So how can we tolerate this? This is intolerable. So this is jealousy is coming. They are becoming so jealous that how is it possible that this dead piece of wood is drinking the nectar, which is our property, and we cannot do anything. We have to just tolerate it. This is impossible. We should just go there and break this fruit from outside and throw it away. Tatra hetu, why we cannot tolerate? It says Gopika namiti. that this belongs to the gopis. Adhar sudayam hi gopikanam asmakameva sattvam says that it is only our right, we the gopis have the right to drink the nectar of Krishna's lips and no one else. So you see, they are not saying that it is only of one gopi. So they want to share it among all of them. That is the beauty. They are not saying it is mine, only one who is saying it is my property. It says Gopikanam, all the gopis. So this is the Vrindavan mood. So tatra hetu gopika nam iti adhar sudhayam hi gopika nam asmakam eva sattvam krishnasya gop jatitvad asmakam gop jati stritvadi nyaya prapti. So Krishna is a cowherd boy. So what if we are gopis? So he says we are cowherd ladies, he belongs to our jati. So relationship is within jati. So from where this flute has come? Suddenly, it doesn't belong to our jati. So this is one sankar. It's not belonging to our varna. It's a varna bahya. This is not sadachar. This is against dharma principle. So therefore it says gopi jati stritvadi nyaya prapti. But we have the right. No, नित्यं रात्रौ अस्माभिः संभुज्यमानत्वाच्च वेणुस्तु विजातीय. So at night we always drink, and this Venu is vijatiya. Venu does not belong to our jati. It's not a cowherd woman. Tatrapi Krishna ramitatvam atmano matva Krishna prayasitva bhimanam dhatte. So although it is not a cowherd woman, but still being enjoyed by Krishna, he is thinking that he is beloved of Krishna. So he says this is highly immoral, adharmic. Because Krishna is a cowherd boy, so he cannot have relationship with anyone else except another cowherd girl. That's why when the wives of the Brahmanas went, he did not accept them. He says, you should go back. So and this flute is having this abhiman, pride that I am also beloved of Krishna. Krishna prayasitva abhimanam dhatte. So tatrapi dharshtena, and on top of that she is being very, what you call, dharshtya is like shameless, not even a proper English word. So what is the, yeah, something insolent, immodest. So punah paurusham aviskritya sambhunte. That her audacity, just look at the audacity, not even her, you cannot even say her audacity. Although in flute is supposed to be female, that the audacity is that not only he is thinking that he is beloved of Krishna, but he is becoming beloved by becoming a male. So does not belong to cowherd jati and is not a female, and yet is I am the Krishna Prayasi. So Mansi Priya Sakhi, right? Brahma Samhita said Priya Sakhi, the most dear Sakhi of Krishna, because he never leaves this. All other Sakhis cannot be with him. In Braj they are not allowed. They meet for a short time. This flute is always there, day and night. So Mansi Priya Sakhi. So he says that Paurusham aviskritya sambhunkte, and tatrapi parkiyam, and on top of that he is enjoying in the parkiya relationship because he is not cowherd. and tatrapi swameva, and then also by herself or himself, whatever you like. Natu anyam janam ekamapi sanginam karoti. It does not allow anyone else. If we gopis go, we go together, we meet Krishna together, we have no problem. But this flute is alone by herself or himself, and no one else is allowed there. And there is a word tatrapi. Na tatrapi. Do you have na tatrapi or charyena?
Tatrapi na.
Okay. So tatrapi na charyena. Because somewhere there is only charyena. Anyway, both ways you can apply. So tatrapi na charyena kintu dhan swamini rasman futkarena gapitavya. On top of that, she is drinking this nectar which belongs to us, not by stealing, but by openly and telling us that, look, I am drinking here, because the sound is coming from it. So not stealing it, not drinking quietly, but making a big sound that, look, you gopis, here I drink the nectar which belongs to you, and you cannot do anything. So this is the pride of this flute. We have to really do something. Kintu, so kincha nayam futkara kintu swa sambhogotha manitam eva. And this flute sound which comes, it is called futkar. When you put air inside, what comes out is futkar. It says it is not just sound. Futkar means just blowing the air and that making sound, but actually this is the sound of she enjoying with Krishna relationship. That is the sound. So manitam bhanitam rati kujitam, Marco says. That sound is called rati kujitam. Tachasman shravitva eva. And that also, not that she is making this sound quietly while enjoying with Krishna, but making us hear also, so that our hearts really burn. Such a rascal. And tatrapi na vashishta rasa kinchin matrapi yatra tad yatha syat tatha bhavati. So then now he is using this Bhaguri opinion, Vasti Bhaguri Vallopam. So we studied that Vatamsa Pinadha, that Avatamsa eyes dropped, and Apinadha eyes dropped, so it becomes Vatamsa Pinadha, and for Avatarti also Tarti. So he says that Avashishta generally means remaining. So what he is doing is that, no, it is not Avashishta in the sense of remaining. It is actually Vashishta. By according to Bhaguri, Vashishta means Avashishta. And then Avashishta means not Avashishta. So Avashishta here actually means not leaving anything for us. So Avashishta Rasam Bhakti. So Vasti Bhaguri Vallopam. So it is लोप ऑफ अकार इत्यादि नाकार लोप. धन स्वामिनी नाम अस्माकं कृते स्वभुक्त अवशिष्टमपि किंचित न रक्षति इति अहो धार्ष्ट्यमिति भाव. So he says we are actually the owner of this, and she is not even leaving little prasad for us, that we get at least few drops and we will be happy with that. He is drinking everything, so just see the pride of this flute. We are the owner of this rasa, and she is drinking everything and does not leave for us to at least have a little prasad. Nothing. Kincha taddesha vartina sarveva janas tadrisha eva. And not only that, all the people of that area, they are all like him. Because all the lakes, all the trees, everybody is happy. They are not thinking that what this fellow is doing, what this flute is doing, this property belongs to gopis and he is drinking everything himself, not leaving. So he says they are all rascals like that. So yat yato adhar sudha bhogat tam vikshatyat. So when they see that this flute is enjoying the nectar from Krishna's lips, then what is happening? Hradinyo nadyaha. So Hradini here refers to river and not lake. Hrishyatvachaha utfulla kamladi mishena pulkavatyo babhu. So their skin, they are very happy, and their happiness, their joy is manifest on their skin in the form of lotuses blooming. So these lotuses are like hair on the skin of the river, and they are coming up. So this is showing the ecstasy they are experiencing. And tarvo makranda mishrena ashru mumuchu. And the trees, they are dropping tears in the form of honey. Yatha arya bhagavad gunan shutva ashrupulkadi manto bhavanti. Just like great devotees, when they hear qualities of Krishna, then they manifest tears and hair standing on the end, etc. All these sattvic bhavas. Tathaiv te venor manitam shrutva iti. So in the same way, when they hear the sound made by flute, the sound of enjoying Krishna's union, then they are feeling blissful. Hradinyo asya sakyas tarvo asya sakhayo. So the rivers are the sakhis of this flute, because they are females, and the trees are his male friends, and they are like messengers. So Venu, Hardini, Tarva, Sarva, Eva, Smakam, Vairane. So all this flute, the rivers, lakes and trees, they are all our enemies. He should curse all of them. Atoyam gopyaha nibhritam kutrapi rakshniyo. So therefore somehow we have to steal this flute and hide it somewhere, so that Krishna would not find it. And then we will only have this. Yatha Krishna adharam na prapnoti. So then she will have no chance to get in contact with Krishna's lips. So ti asuya akhya sanchari yanjita. So this is being described here as one of the sanchari bhava of asuya. There are 33 sanchari bhavas which manifest in love. So one of them is called asuya. So that is palutkars asahanam, not being able to tolerate others' superiority. So that is one type of sanchari bhava. So,
तत्रपि परकीयम, परकीय क्यों बोल रहे हैं?
तो उसकी पत्नी थोड़े है या गर्लफ्रेंड है वेणु, तो गोपी भी नहीं है. Not belonging to गोप जाति already said.
और ये जो ऊपर शब्द आ रहा है, ये तत्र हेतु गोपिका नाम इति अदर सुधायाम ही गोपिका नाम अस्माकम एव. इट्स इट सत्वम और स्वत्वम?
Here it says sattvam. Should be swatvam. We have swatvam.
स्वत्वम है.
That's proper word. Sattvam, I mean, you can apply it. Sattvam means wealth, property. But swatvam means belongs to a same meaning. But swatvam is more easy to understand.
So गोपिका नाम एव स्वत्वम. स्वत्वम का क्या फिर अर्थ निकलेगा कि हमारा ही है?
हाँ यार, ये तो हिंदी में जानते नहीं, मेरा स्वत्व है, मेरा हमारा ही अधिकार है, बिलोंग्स टू अस, स्वामी सास।
ठीक है। और ये अवशिष्ट वाला हमारा समझ नहीं आया, अवशिष्ट वाला प्लीज समझा दीजिए।
So अवशिष्ट means remaining, right?
जी।
But according to Bhāgavata, great grammarian before Panini, he says that you can drop a of avashishta.
ठीक है।
So then what will be the word?
वशिष्ठ।
Vashishta. Now if you want to negate Vashishta, what it will become?
नवशिष्ट।
Navashishta means avashishta.
Okay.
It's like sura, you want to say opposite of sura is asura. Naya samas.
Okay.
Na
Right.
is dropped, a remains. It's called naya samas.
ठीक है।
So then avashishta will mean opposite of avashishta. Because Vashishta itself is avashishta.
अवशिष्ट means बचा हुआ और वशिष्ठ means
अरे सुन लो भैया, avashishta means remaining.
right.
But according to Bhāgavata, you can have the word Vashishta instead of avashishta.
अच्छा, with the same meaning.
So then Vashishta would mean remaining.
Right.
Now if you take Bhāgavata's opinion and take the word Vashishta and you want to negate it, what it would become?
नवशिष्ट।
Which means avashishta. When you make samas, it becomes avashishta.
Okay.
So then avashishta would mean not remaining.
Okay.
So that's why he's saying तथापि न वशिष्टा न अवशिष्टा, means nothing is remaining. Yes.
Babaji, is this Krishna is in pagan age now or is already Kaumara?
So he is now 6-year-old.
Is still pagan then?
Because he's going to do Govardhan-līlā at 7 years.
Yes.
And this is before that.
So even in Poganda, the girls get this bhava, that's it.
Everything is
How
possible.
is that going to come?
Everything is
How is
possible.
that possible?
Yeah, because later on those people who do not know Shastra, they attack Krishna. How can he do this? This is against Dharma. Then this is how you protect him. He's only 6-year-old, what are you talking? Right? Because this whole thing is very problematic when you see from Dharma point of view. Those who are dharmic people, they are unable to understand how can God do something like this. So they say this is all interpolation, this is all added later on, and this type of ideas. So then you say, no, it's not interpolated, it is just a young boy, 6-year-old boy, what is he going to think? Because later on it will be said that he was 7-year-old when he lifted Govardhan. 7 days for 7 days. Saptahaya no bale, koyam saptahaya no bale. Saptahaya means 7 years. So where is love affair for 7 years or before that?
I was wondering, as it's described here at the end, that there's this sanchari bhava of asuya, whether as this speaker is speaking to her intimate friends, whether this sense of asuya is, I don't know, as we say in English, something like half joking, or in other words, where it's being said in a way where the person who's listening knows that you're not exactly thinking that, but you're speaking that for effect, or whether you're literally actually thinking. In other words, are they mocking the flute in this way, like really genuinely like talking to the flute, or are they talking like this as a way of indirectly conveying their desire? And it's understood that it's not exactly that they're having these thoughts about the flute, but as if they are, for this as a rhetorical construct.
Yeah, it depends. Now if you actually take it as a sanchari bhav, then they are actually saying it. They're feeling like that.
Right, they're feeling that, but like, is it with like a touch of like the detachment of humor at the same time, or is it?
No, not humor. But you have to understand that this sanchari is a manifestation of prema only. It is not the asuya, the word as we use in the material world, where you actually think of destroying somebody. It's not with that. It's out of love. It's difficult to understand, but it is also a way of appreciation. Just like they say that somebody who is imitating you, you may say, oh, this guy is just imitating me, but that is also can be seen that he must appreciate you if he is imitating you. So feeling asuya is also a sign of appreciation. But they are expressing their own desire in this way. I mean, flute is just a flute. Flute has not done anything. But just to show how their love is manifest. And in this stage of love, you have imaginations. And this is a way to relish. This is how rasa manifests. Bhavanubhav sancharasya yoga rasna sparti. So this is, the word is same, but it is not the type of asuya we experience here in the material world. And the person actually feels upset and wants to do something bad. Because they love Krishna, and if Krishna is enjoying playing it, they cannot harm the flute. He will give him pleasure. And then they become selfish. So this is a way of praising the flute. That's why it is called Venugit. So, but the interesting point here is that Mahaprabhu said that even men can have madhurya bhav. So flute, Venu is a Purusha and having madhurya relationship with Krishna. So generally you think madhurya is only for, as Gopi is saying, it is only our property. So bhav is possible for men also. Okay, anybody else? तुमने तो यार पढ़ा हुआ है भट्ट जी के साथ वेणुगीत पढ़ा नहीं भट्ट जी से? भट्ट जी से क्या पढ़ा आपने? क्या? तो ये वाला नहीं पढ़ा? 45 से 65 55
लैंग्वेज में जैसे आपने कहा कि जो ऑब्जेक्ट है एंड जो वर्ड है इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि दोनों के जेंडर्स मैच करें, तो isn't this fault with language? So कैसे हम समझें कि ये this is not a fault with language, because generally if we see the word और उसके जेंडर है, जो ऑब्जेक्ट है और जो वर्ड है उसका जेंडर मैच करना चाहिए, जो परसेप्शन है हमारे माइंड में.
So Vanam is called neutral gender. How does it match? Gender तो इनका तो कुछ होता नहीं है. All these insentient objects don't have any gender, but in Sanskrit they also have. How would you say that forest is neutral gender? What if I say it's male? How will you make distinction? For living beings you can say, but what about a stone mountain, river, they also have genders. And there are rivers, some rivers are female generally, but there are also Nada there. So how will you distinguish? And said it's not a fault of mine.
So why is it so? Any specific reason, especially female object का और
So the basic characteristic of male female is according to the gunas. So that's how genders come.
तो शब्द में हम कैसे समझें कि किसका क्या गुण है?
वो पढ़ना पड़ेगा या व्याकरण से नाम लिंगानुशासन इसलिए तो बोलते हैं उसका लिंग भी पढ़ना पड़ता है.
तो वो मतलब इट्स याद ही करना पड़ेगा. इट्स नॉट कि बाइनरी. कोई क्राइटेरिया नहीं है उसका.
That's how Sanskrit is. You have to memorize the genders. And you can give explanation. A woman who is more man-like is called Dara. So some river is more wild, all the time flooding, and Brahmaputra. Every year there is a big flood there. So it becomes male, attacking. So ultimately, because Sanskrit is language also in this spiritual world, and there everything is sentient, even insentient things are sentient. What seems to be insentient, so they have gender.